NeonicVoid Productions presents.
Hi, welcome to Book Watchers. Today we're talking about Carmilla, the first fireworks. One of the oldest, if not the oldest, vampire tale.
There's
It
actually
came
one
out before
older than
Dracula, huh?
There's actually one older than it.
Which one's older than it?
Forgot the name of it. Hold on.
Oldest vampire story. The
It's called The
first,
Vampire.
the vampire in 1819.
And then I think Carmilla came out like 50 years later.
Carmilla came out in 1871.
Yep.
And then, of course, Dracula. Dracula came out in. When did Dracula come out?
In the 19th century.
Was it the 19th century?
Yeah, 18 something.
1897, 20 years after Carmilla. So we're talking about the oldest, not the second oldest vampire publication. So hi, how are you? It's your boy, Devin. And
and it's me, Jacob.
You're like, it's a me, Mario.
It's a me.
Yeah, bitch.
It's your boy.
Oh.
What?
Wow, leave it to the British Isles to create all the first vampire stories.
Yep.
Because John was from England, the UK, London.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other two came from Ireland. So yes, today's story we're talking about today, buckle up, because we did Dracula, last week or the week before? I can't remember.
Last week I think we did 30 Days a Night.
Yeah, we did 30 Days a Night. The week before that, we did Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're going back to the old era of vampire stories. We're going to Carmilla. Now, Carmilla is a vampire story that was written back in the 1800s or released to the public in 1871, somewhere between 1871 to 1872. Written by Sheridan Le Fanu? I guess that's how you say his name? I could be wrong. Don't kill me, ancestors, if I got that name wrong. He is an Irishman that lived during the time period in Dublin, and he is the writer of the story. He is also one of the big writers during a movement of literature and art during that time period, known as Dark Romanticism. Now, Dark Romanticism is a movement that started in the 18th century, 100 years before that kind of bled into the century they're in currently. This Dark Romanticism has themes of human fatality, self-destruction, judgment, punishment, guilt, and sin. These are the overlining themes throughout these type of stories in this movement or this genre, if you will. Another big writer in this movement is, of course, Edgar Allan Poe. So if any of you have read any Edgar Allan Poe stories, his work is also considered dark romanticism, as well as Carmilla. Let's see. The main characters. I'm only gonna mention the two. The main characters of this story. Well, sorry, outside that. This book is only 108 pages long. It's very short. It's a gothic novella. Very short. Go read it. I'm sure you can find it online for free because I'm sure it's royalty free now. Or if you're on Kindle, it's like $2 or $3, $5 at most, something like that. It's very short. Two main characters that we follow. Well, two of some of the main characters we follow. Laura, which is the main character. It's all the story of her life. And of course, Carmilla, the vampire. So, today I am leading today's episode on Carmilla, as I said last week and I think the week before. Buckle up, bitch. This shit is crazy. So,
Full of lesbians.
full lesbians, full on lesbians. And the movie, not the movie, oh my God, there was a movie, but the movie, we'll get into it. It has a lot of similarities to the book, but at the same time, the book is different. The movie and the book are different. The movie I'm talking about is on Shutters from 2019, right? 2019, 2020, something like that. It's relatively new, but it doesn't take down the story beat for beat, but there are certain elements in it that are mirrored from the actual. So, the book is presented as part of a case study from Dr. Lucius, who is a medical rank, but he's also the first occult detective in literature. Dun dun dun. Now, Laura, as we know, is the main where this whole case centers around, and this whole story is reflecting around her time where it was her widowed father, and her two governesses. Now, these two governesses, God, what are their fucking names? Their names are long and winded. So, it is Governess Madame Perodon, and then Mademoiselle de Lafontaine. Don't quote me on that. My pronunciation is trash. Of French. Second one's like heavily French. But yeah, she reflects on her childhood, being with her widowed father and these two governesses. And a governess, for those of you who don't know, are basically like, how would you describe a teacher? Instructor? Teach you about life? I don't know how. Let me look up a proper definition of a governess. Proper definition.
They're basically like they run the household. They make sure that finances and other things around the house run smoothly. If they have to, they oversee the education and tutoring of the estates, the lord of the estate's children.
Yeah.
They're basically like a nanny, a butler, a maid, and a teacher. All that rolled up into one.
Yes. So she has two governesses that do different things. And then she talks about how, and this all takes place in the Austrian Empire. And her father and her are English. And they live in the Austrian Empire during this time period. And then it goes into how she remembers when she was 6, she had a vision or a dream of a very beautiful woman that visited her in her bedchambers at 6, and later claims to have been bit by her. And this beautiful woman bit her breast. I don't like that they use the term breasts for a 6-year-old. I don't. It's very like, this queen's a problematic. Carmilla's a problematic queen. A very problematic queen. No, I don't. I was like, what the fuck? I heard this book was buffoonery and tomfoolery and insane, but I didn't realize it was going to start right off the bat of just insanity. But here we are. So from there, we jump to, to go back to the 6-year-old thing. She had no wound no evidence of anyone being there that bit her breasts in any way. And all the household assured Laura is like, oh, it's just a dream. It's just a dream. You're just dreaming things. It's fine. You're just dreaming things. But they did set up security. They buffed up security and supervision of her after this initial event that happened. Then we jump 12 years. 12 years later, she is now 18 at this time. Laura and her father are admiring the sunset in front of the castle that they live, while her father tells her of a letter from his friend, a general that he knew, and how the general was supposed to visit them, and he was supposed to bring his niece, Bertha. I'm not saying these last names because these last names are long and winded, but Bertha was her first name. So he was supposed to bring his niece, Bertha, but Bertha was also supposed to be like a companion, a friend, because Laura is just here by herself. She's lonely. She has no friends, no compatriots, none of that. So this general was supposed to come by with his niece so she could have a friend and a companion. Bertha died under mysterious circumstances. And the general concludes that, said basically, hey, I'll give you more information when I come by later. And that was basically the letter was just that. My niece died. Sorry, I'm not going to be coming right now, but I'll be by later and I'll explain everything in more detail when I get there. Laura's obviously very saddened by this news because she longs for a companion, a friend. Then, out of the blue, a carriage accident happens outside Laura's home. It unexpectedly brings a girl of around Laura's age into her family's care. There's a big old carriage accident, and she's the lone survivor, or she's one of the few survivors that happened from this. And say, wow, there's a beautiful woman here about her age. So they take her in. And then, let me get my notes together from there. When the accident happens, Laura's father sends for a doctor to examine the young girl, which is named Carmilla. While the governess makes a comment about her stunning beauty. And Laura herself is also struck by Carmilla's beauty because Carmilla's gorgeous. When she goes to check on her, she soon recognizes her from her dream. So Laura checks in on her and she's like, wait a goddamn minute. You're the bitch from my dream when I was 6 years old. Did you suck my titty? Did you pop my titty? Carmilla remembers Laura as well. She's not even hiding it and admires Laura's own beauty. And Laura takes this as a sign that they are meant to be friends. Sweetie, you a lesbian. Sweetie, girl, you a lesbian. Who you fooling? You ain't fooling anybody. You a lesbian. So while they're taking care of Carmilla since her injury, and her mysterious mother informs Laura's father that her journey is urgent and cannot be delayed for Carmilla. She arranges to leave her daughter with Laura and her father until she can return in 3 months' time. Before she leaves, she sternly notes that her daughter will not disclose any information whatsoever about her family, past, or herself. And that Carmilla is of sound mind. That's weird, right? That's what you do, right? I'm gonna leave my daughter here, but she won't say shit about herself or about me or anyone else in this goddamn family. And she is sound of mind. She's perfectly fine.
It was a different time.
Fucking weird. And Laura comments that this information seems needless to say. And her father, of course, laughs it off like it's no big deal. This is sus. Red flag number 1. So, from there, Carmilla and Laura grow to be very close friends. Air quotes. But occasionally, Carmilla's mood changes. Abruptly changes. She sometimes makes romantic advances towards Laura. Carmilla refuses to tell her anything about herself, despite being questioned by Laura. Her secrecy is not the only mystery about Carmilla, though, as we know. She never joins the household in its prayers. She sleeps much of the day, and she seems to, air quotes, sleepwalk outside at night. Suspicious. Meanwhile, young women and girls in the nearby town have begun dying of mysterious circumstances. Ailments, maybe. When the funeral procession of one such victim passes by the two girls, Laura joins in the funeral hymn. Carmilla bursts out in rage and kind of just snaps at Laura for it, complaining that the hymn hurts her ears. Red flag number 2. I mean, there's a red flags. This bitch is a walking red flag. So from there, when a shipment of restored heirlooms paintings arrive, Laura finds a portrait of her ancestor. Oh God, how you say her name? Mircalla? Mircalla? She's a countess that died back in 1698. The portrait resembles Carmilla exactly. What twist? Down to the mole on her fucking neck. At this point, ladies and gentlemen and others, I was behooved. I was like, what? Ew. That adds a gross layer to this story. It gets crazier. Well, I mean, that's pretty crazy on its own, but Carmilla then suggests that she might be descendant from this family, the Karsteins? Karensteins? Karnsteins?
Rusty.
Huh?
Karsteins? Well, I need to see it spelled.
Karsteins. Though the family died out centuries before, air quotes, died out. They didn't die out. if a light bulb's going on in your head, ladies and gents, it's they ain't going in. While Carmilla is staying with Laura, Laura has these nightmares of a large cat-like beast entering her room. The beast springs onto the bed, and Laura feels something, 2 needles, an inch or 2 apart, darting deep into her breasts. Because apparently this vampire likes to suck blood from titties. I was just like, the breasts. I've heard of a lot of strange things, but I never heard of a vampire not going for the neck, but going for the breasts. Again, a problematic queen. From there, then the beast takes the form of a female figure and disappears through the door without opening it. And another nightmare, Laura hears a voice say, "Your mother warns you to beware of the assassin." And as sudden light reveals Carmilla standing a foot from her bed. Her nightdress drenched in blood. Laura's health then declines majorly, and her father has a doctor examine her. He finds small blue spot, an inch or 2 below her collarbone. Because we know we love collarbones here. If you got a collarbone that you can just drink soup out of, god damn. It's like, God, Laura must have a collarbone like a fucking bowl.
Damn.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's an inside joke with collarbones here on this podcast.
Yep.
Collarbones. Yeah, collarbones.
Yes, because Devin and Tiff are a bunch of thirsty bitches. That's what you guys
We're not thirsty for who. We're just acknowledging that, bitch, you got a collarbone you can drink soup out of. Anyway.
That's harassment. Commenting on my body like that. If I was a woman, y'all be canceled. But I'm a man and nobody cares.
But it's a man and a non-binary person telling you this.
Still.
You should feel proud of your collarbones, your clavicle.
Well, I would be if you guys weren't like just overly like objectifying me.
We're being overly dramatic about it.
You are, and I'm over here just like holding my covering my collarbones, just feeling like a piece of meat.
God. Have all do fun. We're not serious, or I'm not at least.
I know you're not, but still, I'm just over here all like
oh, clench my pearls.
clench my collarbones.
Clench my collarbone. Oh. So, yeah, they find a blue spot, an inch or two apart, 2 blue spots on her collarbone, where the creature in her dream bit her. It speaks privately with her father. The doctor speaks privately with her father, only asking that Laura never be unattended. Basically, have somebody fucking watch this little bitch. We gotta figure out what the fuck is going on. So, her father sets out with Laura in a carriage for the ruined village of Karenstein. Karenstein? That name seems very familiar, or it should. 3 miles distant, they leave a message behind asking Carmilla and one of the governesses to follow once Carmilla wakes up from her slumbering during the day. En route to said village, Laura and her father encounter the general, and he tells them his own ghastly story. In this tale of tales, it takes place at a costume party. And the general and his niece Bertha had met a very beautiful woman named Millarca. We'll say that. And her mother. Bertha immediately taken by this young woman. The mother convinced the general that she was an old friend of his and asked that her daughter be allowed to stay with them for 3 weeks while she attended a secret matter of great importance. Bertha then fell ill, suffering the same symptoms that Laura is currently suffering. After concluding with a specially ordered priest doctor, which that's a thing, a priest and a doctor? Wow. Hit 2 birds with 1 stone. Oh, meow. The general realized that Bertha has been visited by a vampire. He hid with a sword and waited until a large black creature of undefined shape crawled into his niece's bed and spread itself onto her throat. I love that. I love that language they use in the book. It's very fucking just very flowery. Very just like, yes, Queen, what? But you're still a problematic bitch. He leaped from his hiding place and attacked the creature. When he had of course, the creature then takes the form of the young woman herself. She fled through a locked door, unharmed. Bertha died before that morning dawned. So basically, he's like, I found you. And Carmilla is like, and then ran through a locked door. And then, of course, his niece died the morning before. And then we jump. That's the story that was told. From there, upon arriving in the village, the general asked a woodman where he would find the tomb of the Mircalla Karenstein. The woodman says the tomb was relocated long ago by a noble who vanquished the vampires haunting the region. While the general and Laura are alone in this ruined chapel, Carmilla appears out of nowhere. The general and Carmilla both fly into a rage upon seeing each other, and the general attacks her with an axe. Carmilla disarms the general and disappears. The general explains that Carmilla is the woman that attacked his niece, but reveals that Carmilla is the same vampire that attacked his niece and shit. And she's also the Countess of Karnstein, which is Laura's ancestor. There's some incest going on here, and that's some buffoonery.
Okay, would it really be considered incest though? Because at that point you're so far removed from each other. It's just like that's true.
That's true. That's true.
Because like
it just depends how close they are or how far they are from each other. So
yeah, because like this is gonna go down a whole another rabbit hole and probably start like whole other arguments. But like if I were to meet another person whose family name is also Spooner, because that is my family name.
Yeah.
We probably aren't closely related. Like we may have a common ancestor, but aside from that, we aren't closely related.
If you met a lovely young man that is gorgeous to your eye, and you started to have relations with said man, and you found out his last name was Spooner, that you'd be okay with it. You wouldn't find it weird.
I would find it weird. I would immediately ask him, okay, like we need to
find the family tree.
We need to find the family tree and see how closely we are related. If we're not closely related, as in like his grandfather and my grandfather are brothers, then we're gonna just stop right there and just bid each other have a good life, because at that point we would be second cousins.
Yes.
And I would think second cousins are still too closely related to be fucking around. And
because
third cousin
in the States, you would not be breaking the law if you married your second cousin.
Right, but I still think second cousin is still too closely related.
It is.
And then third cousin is like a gray area for me. So like I could maybe be okay with a third cousin.
Like if they were, say, if their grandfather was my grandfather's cousin, then you're so far down the line, I probably wouldn't care, because you're not direct relation. There's like several, you're a cousin of a cousin of a cousin, and that's okay. But if you're like, oh yeah, you're my grandfather, your grandfather is my grandfather's nephew or some shit, or brother, and we're like second or third cousins. I'm sorry, if you're anything close to a cousin in the first 3 or 4, no.
I think I'd be okay if we were like fourth cousins. Like at that point, I'm just like, okay, I don't care anymore. We are no longer even related.
We have the same lineage in some way, but we're not close enough to relate to where it's weird.
Right. So like, and besides, like, there are like, with my family tree, there are a bunch of different branches of us. So like, I run into one of them, they're probably from another branch. So we're like so far removed, it wouldn't matter.
As long as you're from another branch, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're from the same branch, where it gets questionable.
See, my family tree isn't. See, my branch isn't even the branch that settled in Salem.
Yeah.
My branch was the first branch to settle in the United States, though.
Yeah. I have no idea where the fuck mine is. I can't go to Ireland with my last name. I can't go to Ireland and fuck around, because I might actually find a relation over there, because I'm only like third or fourth. So I still would technically have some family over there, technically speaking. I think I'm third generation on my dad's side. So if I go to Ireland or Scotland, Ireland, if I go to Ireland, I have a good chance of coming across some relatives that are still kind of closely related.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I can't be gay in Ireland.
Oh no.
If I'm single, I'm not single, but if I were, I can't go over there and fuck around, because I might fuck around and find out, oh wow, you're my cousin. Oh, well, let me just pack up my shit. It's a great time seeing you. Bye.
So, fun fact: I am descended from. So, like the first two Spooners to settle in the United States, I mentioned
Yeah.
them because they're brothers, and they were brothers, and they came to the United States at the same time. Thomas and William Spooner. I am descended from William. They settled in Plymouth, Massachusetts, in 1623, and I am their direct descendant. And then there's another Thomas Spooner who arrived like 10 years later, and he settled in Salem, Massachusetts.
And the terrible
Yeah,
place to settle.
yeah. So there are probably witches in my family tree. They may even still be hanging there.
Damn. Damn. Wow. What a pun. Ha ha. Ha ha. Ha. Wow. You were sitting on that pun, weren't you?
I've used it many times and I love it.
Well, then maybe you should go
If you
to.
identify as a witch, I'm sorry. Don't cancel me.
We need to. I want to go to Salem so bad. I want to go to Salem so bad.
See, I joke about that, but I also probably do have real witches in my family tree because of my mom's side.
Oh, I'm sure. From the stories
But
I've heard, oh, I am most definitely sure.
mhm.
But to reel it back to the story, Laura is a descendant of Carmilla. The party is then joined. The group is then joined by Baron Vordenberg, the descendant of the hero who rid the area of vampires long, long ago. Vordenberg, an authority on vampires, had discovered that his ancestor was romantically involved with Carmilla. What a plot twist. What a plot
Dun, dun,
twist.
dun.
I was like, oh shit, she had a man. Oh, goddamn. Using his father's using his father's name in the notes, forefathers' notes, he locates Carmilla's hidden tomb. An imperial commission exhumes the body of this woman and immersed in blood. It seems to be she seems to be breathing faintly. Its heart's beating, its eyes open. A stake is driven through its heart and gives a compelling shriek, and then the head is struck off. The body and the head are burned to ashes, which are thrown into the river. Or this is Carmilla's body. She gets staked and her head chopped off, and her ashes, to the river it goes. Afterward, Laura's father takes his daughter on a long tour through Italy. As she regains her health and recovers from said trauma, but she never does. She still feels, in the story, it talks about how she still feels like Carmilla is still around her, haunting her at night. Like, I think there was one thing in the book that talks about at the very end where she feels like she's laying in bed at night and she could feel like she could hear Carmilla's footsteps above her or at the foot of her bed. Carmilla haunts her even in the afterlife. And that is the story of Carmilla, the lesbian problematic icon. I knew this book was crazy, but boy, it was a ride. It was a ride.
It was a ride.
Now, the movie itself was kind of similar, but go into the movie.
Yeah, so the thing about the movie, it wasn't even about vampires. At least the one we watched. And that was this and that was the one.
Not directly. Yeah, not directly.
Yeah. Yeah.
They kind of hint, they beat around the bush with the issue.
Yeah,
with her, with Carmilla itself anyway, and that's about it.
But it was full on lesbians. Like those two girls, like were definitely like they were
lesbians
in love. They were lesbians. Yeah. There was no mention of the whole titty sucking thing.
No, there was no mention of her at 6 years old with that, or how there was no. Carmilla was weird in the movie, but she wasn't like, oh my god, vampire weird. Like she'd bright red hair, which I think, if I remember correctly, I think in the actual story she does have red hair. But Carmilla in the movie, she sleeps at odd hours. She's very weird. She kind of just lingers around Laura, and they do have um, romantics happen between them. But it almost seems like it's Predator getting her prey. So they kind of hint that there's vampirism going on. Like there's a whole blood thing that they do with getting blood and rubbing it on their lips and then kissing each other and shit. But they never straight out say she's a vampire. She's just weird. And it seems to me more about the lesbianism of it all rather than the vampirism of it all.
Yeah, they she does get sick. Like there is like a bunch of girls getting sick, and so does Laura. And they think it has something to do with Carmilla. Although the thing is that like since there was no actual vampirism going on in this, it was more like coming down to their superstition and like paranoia. So wasn't actually
They had
it
like a
wasn't
Salem witchcraft trial moment where they're
yeah
blaming Carmilla for it all when in reality she might not have had anything to do with it at all. Because they didn't
yeah
really indicate that she did all this. She would wander around at night and shit, and she would do weird shit, but the movie never straight out showed the viewer her really doing anything outright like that. Kind of just hinted at it, little nod to
yeah
it.
yeah, and I think it just came down to religious paranoia, like I
Yeah,
said. Also, I think the governess herself didn't like that Carmilla wasn't conforming to her strict household rules and shit like that, like praying when they're supposed to pray, not wandering in the halls, not doing all like rules that she set up for Laura,
yeah.
that she put in place for Laura. Like Carmilla wouldn't follow them or would just kind of like brush them off or laugh them off, or a few scenes where she would just like kind of like do it but in a mocking way.
Yeah. And there
So
was only
like
one governess, not two in the movie. The Madame was the only one they had at that
yeah,
in the movie.
yeah, and in the end, like the two, like they were going to I think they were going to either kill Carmilla or something. They took her away, and
Yeah.
Laura freaked out, and there was a bit of a scuffle, and then Laura and Carmilla both end up running from the house, and it doesn't really say how long the two of them were away, like running about, but they did end up spending the night out in the wilderness, and they were both asleep when the governess and her uh and a bunch of
Father.
the governess, the father, and I think there was like I guess like like one of the like gardeners or like landscapers or something was there with them, and they find Carmilla and Laura just asleep in one of the pastures, and they grab Carmilla and they stake her.
Yeah.
They shove stake through her heart while Laura watched, and like I said, there was no like actual vampirism going around. It was just paranoia.
Yeah.
They they just saw Carmilla as a very strange girl, and they thought she was probably like consorting with devils and trying to turn an innocent girl, and they fucking kill her.
And Laura is
But
distraught accordingly. And it's just the movie ends with her crying. The loss
yeah,
of Carmilla.
yeah, it was really sad because I'm pretty sure that like stuff like that happened a lot.
Yeah.
So. Um, It was an okay. The movie was okay. I was a little
Yeah.
disappointed because I was expecting I was expecting fucking vampires.
I want the fucking vampire lesbian queen that is Carmilla. And we just got a depressing lesbian story of somebody killing a woman because she's ginger and a little weird and a lesbian.
She was probably left-handed too, which was
As
also a big no-no.
yeah, as a ginger and a gay, I was not happy. I was like, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you?
How dare?
You know, us gingers back then. That's devil's color. Y'all Satan worshiping. Y'all touched by the devil.
You know what else? You know what's also devilry? Gossiping, adultery,
Oh my god, gossiping. We don't do that here.
marrying your first cousin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Having children out of wedlock, having premarital sex,
Mm-hmm.
thinking dirty thoughts.
Yeah. And look at that British culture in a nutshell.
Oh, damn. 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 Drop that truth. And what I will say that's cool about this book though, is that normally they talk about vampires turning into wolves. That seems to be the motif or the form they usually take. Nah, Carmilla takes the form of a cat. A pussy.
Which probably
Love.
goes back to it probably goes back to like how wolves are often associated with the masculine and cats are feminine.
I love that. It's so good. I think that's I like that differentiation between the wolf and because I'm sure if I was Ben writing Dracula, but oh wow, a cat? Because I'm sure he took inspiration from Carmilla. Of course, I'm sure he did. And he was like, wow. His little closet gay ass was like, wow, she's serving cat? Cool. I'm gonna have mine serve wolf. A wolf. And there we are.
A what?
A wolf. Not a meow, a wolf. And now I have to implement vampires in my D&D game that turn into cats or wolves, depending if they're male or female. Now I gotta do that. It's now gonna be a thing.
Vampires are shapeshifters, so honestly, they can shapeshift into whatever they want.
And that's true because you never see too much of that anymore. Really, you just see them transform into. The only things I've seen a vampire turn into is a bat, a bunch of bats, a wolf, or in this case now a cat, a very large panther, cougar, mountain lion situation, which is lit.
Nowadays the problem with vampires in today's modern day is that they are so overused that like everyone is trying to come up with something new for vampires, and like then you get bullshit like Twilight, you get shit like the Vampire's Assistant, you got Underworld, which honestly I love Underworld. Vampires, vampires and werewolves from Underworld are I love them.
Yes.
And then you know and then also you got vampires from like franchises that don't really portray vampires in the way that's been portrayed before. Like in The Strain, the vampires are created from fucking parasitic worms.
Yeah. Which I need to
And
finish that. I need to rewatch that show because that show was good.
that was alright. But yeah. So that was Carmilla. There are other Carmilla movies. We just like we were looking for one and we saw that, oh hey, there's one on Shudder. Let's watch that one.
This one looked the best. Like it could be what we were looking for. In a way, it was. It just went about the whole religious paranoia than an actual vampire. Which I mean, it was all right. It was okay. It was a decent movie. It just wasn't what we were hoping. Well, let me rephrase it. It wasn't what I was hoping. I wanted the dramatics.
It
I didn't
wasn't
really
what I was
get the
looking for either.
dramatics. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a sad lesbian story.
Yeah.
It's just like what did the lesbians do to you?
Exactly. Lesbians are
Like
legends.
Like,
Not what
honestly,
I wanted.
I mean, it's typical for there to be a sad gay romance, but now sad lesbian romance? Jesus.
Oh, God, the buffoonery, tomfoolery of it all. But yes, that was Carmilla. So go read it. I'm sure you can find it. It's easy to find, just like Dracula was. You can literally walk into any bookstore, look on the shelf full of vampires or horror novels or literature, and you will find it. Barnes Noble has both. You want because Barnes Noble has a nice hardcover of Carmilla that I want, but it's like $20. And it's like, when I get that money, I'm gonna add you to my collection. So,
See, I am trying not to buy any more books because I have a bunch of books that I bought that and never read, and now I gotta read them.
I mean, same, but I've read this one,
It's just,
so I can
just
actually add it to my
buying.
collection.
Yeah, but the act of buying books is just the dopamine rush you need.
It is.
It's just it's so satisfying.
It is just to have a
Like,
new book in your hand.
oh, I can't wait to read this. 2 years later, I still need to read this.
5 years later, I'm finally reading this.
Shit, I'm reading Stormfront, the first book of the Dresden Files.
Oh.
Like, I've been wanting to read this because it's the macabre meets, like, it's basically like supernatural,
Uh-huh.
but it's centered around a wizard named Harry Dresden.
Ooh.
And
Sounds like fun.
yeah, so I'm reading it, and it's very macabre. He's basically a wizard PI.
Oh.
He investigates paranormal occurrences, and now I'm reading this. I'm just like, okay, it's different. It's different from what I'm used to reading because it's not like flashy magic, at least none that I've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's building up to that,
Yeah.
and I just can't wait. I am almost halfway through the book. It's not a big book. It's only like 308 pages long.
Word. I still need to finish another book by a certain man that has the word king in his name, which now I think I can actually go back and finish it since I've been caught up with this. Once we finish these
You haven't
episodes.
yet. Have you not finished?
I have not finished it yet. I haven't had time to read because I've been reading Carmilla and then other stuff, get ready for other episodes. So now I can actually be like, okay, cool. Now my time goes to this. To
Oh
this
shoot! Are
next book we plan on. We're not doing it next week. We'll have to pick something else. You have to pick a book from your repertoire. Give me a week or two. So not this week, not this next week, but the week after. We'll do it.
If we do fairy tale, it's not going to be about. We're not going to be doing anything like with the movie. It's just going to be about the book because fairy tale is still really new and it has not been adapted into a movie yet. But this is by far, I gotta say, this is by far my favorite Stephen King book.
Fairy
I
tale?
love this. Yes, I love it.
Okay, cool. Great.
I was reading it because like other Stephen King books, yeah, I get pretty hooked. Like I can get pretty hooked into it,
Mhm.
right? Like some of them are like more compelling reads than others, right?
Yeah.
With this one, I was reading it and I was like, I want more. It was one of those books that made me like keep turning the pages. Like I want to keep reading.
Yeah, because I
And
need to
it
go.
was
I won't finish it. It's gonna be done before we record it. I just need give me a week. Not this next Sunday, not a week from today, but 2 weeks from today. And we'll do an episode on fairy tale. Mark my words, ladies and gents, because I don't got nothing else to read. So now I'm reading that. All my time is spent on that. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to today's episode on Carmilla. Catch us next time as we finish out the month of October with the episode for when's this episode come out? When's this episode? Let me pull up the calendar. This episode will be out on the 26th, a couple of days for Halloween. What are we doing? We're going back to comic books. where I'm taking you all back to the world of comic books, to the X-Men. And there's we're gonna be talking about some vampire hunters in said X-Men, or story ideals with vampires, the exterminators. So until then, catch y'all on the flip side. Okay, bye.
Bye.